win it.
This is Dick's Sporting Goods Kickoff Week.
Welcome to the SEC on ESPN and the home of the defending national champion Auburn Tigers, as they get set for their season opener with that national championship trophy in hand. Led by 24 seniors in last year's BCS title game. This year, they come onto the field with 24 freshmen. And they will try and do their best in a championship chase that gets underway today against Utah State. I'm Beth Mullins, along with former Oregon head coach Mike Bellotti. A lot of new faces on the field today for Auburn, and the one that everyone will be watching initially is their new quarterback, Barrett Trotter.
No question. If you have to replace a Heisman Trophy winner in Cam Newton, you've got to find somebody to step in. They hope that Barrett Trotter will reinvent his 2007 season at Briarwood Christian, where he actually threw for 47 touchdowns and only 8 interceptions. He's a pocket passer. He's not going to do the running game that Cam Newton did. That's why they're going to have to rely on the running backs, Michael Dyer and Ontario McCaleb, to do the bulk of the running game. And
he should have a lot of confidence handing it off to these two guys who rushed for over 1,900 yards. Dyer over 1,000 on his own.
Dyer's the power guy. McCaleb is the speed guy. Coach Chizik says he is the fastest player on the field. Every time he touches the ball, there's a danger of him hitting his head on the goalpost.
And amongst the freshmen and the redshirt freshmen, none more prominent than that man right there, 18 years of age, Reese Dismukes. Last December, he was playing here at Jordan-Hare Stadium, winning a state championship. Now he will be prominent in getting this up-tempo attack rolling today for Auburn. How about on the other side for Utah State? They lose their best player, but they get 4 guys back that they didn't have last year.
Yeah, it's amazing. They've got 2 running backs and 2 receivers that returned from injury. Robert Turpin, Michael Smith at the running back positions. Stanley Morrison, Matt Austin, the receiver. Over 4,000 yards and 40 touchdowns, and they're all veterans.
Their best player, DeAndre Bell, graduated at quarterback, so they too have a new signal caller in hostile territory today at Jordan-Hare. Gary Anderson, the head coach for the Aggies in his 3rd season. A couple of 4 and 8 campaigns, but high expectations this year. And Gene Chizik engineering that 14-0 season last year, 22-5 now. In his 3rd season, they come in ranked number 22 in the country. Cody Parkey will handle the kicking duties. Amongst all their losses from last year's team, it includes their entire kicking unit. And Utah State will send back one of the best return guys in the country in Kerwin Williams, number 25 in white. And it will bound towards him inside the 5. Williams breaks a tackle out across the 20 to the 24-yard line. And we will welcome in true freshman Chucky Keaton. Last year he had a season similar to Cam Newton, Mike. 2,000 yards passing, 1,000 rushing, but that was at Cypress Creek High School in Houston.
You're right. You know, he's a 2-year captain, though. He rushed for 1,000 yards each of his junior and senior seasons. They feel like he's got that it factor, both leadership and savvy, but he can make things happen.
His first collegiate appearance, and it's against the defending champs. And a knee down on the catch from Chuck Jacobs.
One of the things that happens with young quarterbacks, they tend to rush throws. He didn't get his feet set, so what happened is the receiver had to go down, caught the ball with the knee on the ground. Very difficult. That stops the play before it gets started.
And one thing that offensive coordinator Dave Baldwin doesn't like to see is negative yardage plays, and they lose 3 on their first of the day. They will show all kinds of different looks. And on the delay to Robert Turbin trying to scoot to the outside across the 30. Pickup of 8 on the play. The backs and receivers, well, there's Turbin, who just had the carry over 1,300 yards 2 years ago. And Matt Austin, their senior wideout, will be their go-to guy as well as their bailout guy. The offensive line returns intact, anchored by center Tyler Larson. He's on the Remington watch list. 3rd and 5. Keaton running the option, and the keeper close to the 35, but he had to get just beyond it for the first down. Nosy Igwe and Kenneth Carter on the stop.
The real question is, with a young quarterback on the road, do you do something here in your own territory on 4th and 1.5 yard? I don't think so, but you never know. You got to take some chances in order to win on the road in the SEC.
Well, this is something, Mike, that had your knees knocking a little bit. The thought of a true freshman returning a punt, and that's the case for Auburn with Trevon Reed.
That's the most difficult thing in college football, in my opinion, is to catch a punt with guys running down. Luckily, he didn't even have to touch that one, so we're going to switch it over.
Well, the redshirt freshman will let that one go after the punt from Tyler Bennett, 45 yards. And here is Barrett Trotter, a redshirt, then a knee injury, then backing up Newton a year ago, getting his first start.
And he's a pocket passer. He's not going to scare anybody with his running ability, but he can move. They will move the pocket, but Coach Malzahn loves him because he's savvy, he's an accurate passer, and he's got 4 years in this system. He's the most experienced guy, although he's only thrown 9 passes.
9 passes, has 5 carries and a touchdown in his career. Told us yesterday he feels very comfortable. 3 years in the system, and the give to McCaleb. They're going to get to the outside, and he's hauled down. Good pursuit and the tackle from Tavares McMillan, the outside linebacker.
And one of the things that Auburn talks about doing is getting McCaleb in space, let him get his speed in space, the running start, the fly sweep concept. They're going to test the flanks of this Utah State defense.
810 yards rushing a year ago for McCaleb. Every touch, he's a threat to hit his head on the goalpost, is what Chiswick told us, and here he is again. Back behind the line of scrimmage, Kyle Gallagher with good pursuit.
It's a great job in the pursuit, Beth. You hit right on the head, because he's made the first guy miss both times he's carried the ball, but the pursuit has gotten to him and not allowed him to get outside where he can really turn it on.
And here is the up-tempo offense for Auburn. They want to try and run 80 plays per game. They'll go no huddle here on 3rd and long.
This is defensive advantage. When you're in 3rd and long, the defense controls it.
Trotter drops it off to McCaleb. Has to beat a couple of guys to get to the marker and is bumped out well in advance of it. Gallagher and Nevin Lawson coming up from the secondary.
Both defensive coordinators have to be happy. If you can force a punt on that first possession, you create a little momentum for your defense, and that's really important for both teams trying to make a defensive personality show up.
30, Stephen Clark in punt formation. Williams, Utah State.
Stephen Clark, the sophomore from Kansas City, will get set to punt it away here on 4th and short. Kerwin Williams standing on his own 26-yard line. Kerwin will have a go at it. He led the country in return yardage last year to the 37-yard line, and that's where Utah State will have it on its 2nd possession in the house of the defending national champs. You're watching ESPN College Football, presented by 5 Hour Energy. Both teams go 3 and out on their first possession. The Auburn Tigers in blue. The Aggies of Utah State out of Logan, Utah in white. And their true freshman quarterback, Chucky Keaton, out into the flat to Stanley Morrison to the 40-yard line, and a flag flies late as Morrison's helmet goes flying.
And I think you grab that helmet, it's just like a face mask. That's an automatic penalty. But again, they're not uncomfortable letting Chucky throw the ball. He came out first play of every series has been a pass. That was the same one before.
Personal foul, grasping the face mask, number 25 on the defense. Penalty 15 yards from the end of the run. First down.
You take a look again, you see it at the end of the play right there, grabbed it and just ripped it off, which that hurts.
Oof. That's Darren Bates.
Darren Bates, and again, Darren Bates has made the transition from safety to linebacker. He's a very physical player, as you saw by that play.
Michael Smith, the senior, number 20, now in the backfield, joining Turbin. They'll show the pistol this time. Keaton, the keeper, and some good pressure right up the middle to force his hand on that.
They're very comfortable with Keaton carry the ball. Obviously, this is a read play. They get penetration inside pretty quick. You see the defensive end coming off the edge. Now he's got to keep it. Gets outside. He's welcome to the SEC. They're very comfortable with him carrying the football, which is good.
Craig Sanders didn't give him the option there to hand it off. He was in the backfield in a hurry. Michael Smith, he's got a lot of room, busting into the secondary. Michael Smith, touchdown, Utah State. 43 yards and the early lead.
Great block by Taron Lloyd. And again, one of your fears on defense, as you see, if you get past the initial line of scrimmage, he's unstopped. Great block right there down the field, splits the safeties off to the races, has the speed to finish the play.
Kerwin Williams, the junior from Las Vegas, got that carry. Kerwin Williams, 43 yards and the early score.
Your college team. Play Kingsford's College Showdown on ESPN.com. And AutoZone. Parts are just part of what we do. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
The Auburn University campus, and Kerwin Williams has quieted the crowd with the 43-yard touchdown run going off the left side. Utah State came close a couple of years against Texas A&M, lost by a score, lost by a touchdown last year at Oklahoma, and they really thought they had poor starts to both those games. Not the case today. And it's Trey Mason with his first touch, and he's looking to electrify the crowd. And Mason out to the 38-yard line, 35 yards on the return. And here's Wendy Nix in the studio. Beth Mowens and Mike Bellotti here at Jordan-Hare Stadium. And now how does this young team respond? Down a touch.
Wildcat formation with Dyer in the backfield.
Dyer takes the direct snap, and he'll pick up a few, getting out across the 40-yard line.
We saw them working on this in practice, and they were running a variety of plays, but he was the quarterback in the Wildcat setup.
Trotter is back in there. Dyer to the right, McCaleb in the backfield. Dyer in motion. He'll get it again on the cutback. Mike Dyer picks up a couple more to the 44-yard line. Zavaris McMillan with the stop. Auburn offensively, well, McCaleb the fastest guy on the team, and Emory Blake had a touchdown in the last 3 games of last season, including the BCS championship. Brandon Mosley at left tackle, the lone returning starter, and by the accounts of his coaches and teammates, he is the toughest guy on the team.
By acclamation by everybody. Offense, defense, coaches, quarterbacks, defensive line, all say he is the toughest guy.
They really want to push the pace, and here on 3rd and 5, they want to keep the possession. Trotter to the air, wide open is Blake at the 40, still on his feet. Emory Blake, he's going to take it all the way, and Auburn responds with 6 of its own.
Emory Blake is their go-to guy. They talk about him being the MVP, the old man of the group, and the guy they trust, but he makes a big play with his feet as well as his hands to even the score. Looks like they might be missing somebody. They're waiting here. Probably one of those big tackles. Forgot he's supposed to be on that extra point.
And that's the veteran, 75, Mosley.
Must have got so excited.
Cody Parkey handled kickoffs last year, but of course they had Wes Byram, so this is his first PAT attempt. Ties it at 7. The speed of Emory Blake. 4 games in a row dating back to last season with a touchdown. And how about that burst? And the reaction from Barrett Trotter with his first career touchdown pass.
Beauty to your home. Call 4 Seasons now.
You're watching ESPN College Football. Due to time constraints, we are moving ahead in our coverage. 8:10 to go in the first quarter. We are even at 7 apiece. Utah State with the ball. 5 wide receivers, and now they'll shift their alignment on 2nd and short from their own 27. Keaton, they give to Turbin. Out across the 30-yard line. We are at the home of the Auburn Tigers, the defending national champions. Beth Mowins along with former Oregon head coach Mike Bellotti. A couple of new quarterbacks in our game today, and in particular Chucky Keaton, the true freshman on the road.
Yeah, and you saw a play before where the coaches had to call timeout from the sidelines. Either it didn't read the signal right or wasn't sure about the formation and or the defense. But he did the smart thing. They got no penalties. Again, he'll come back. I think it's interesting, both quarterbacks. Barrett Trotter sat in the pocket very well and seemed comfortable there. He's been here a lot longer.
One of the toughest jobs perhaps in the country, trying to replace Cam Newton, but Barrett Trotter has his first career touchdown pass today. There was a flag at the end of that play. Gene Chizik wondering about a sideline warning that they received. Utah State picks up the first down. Keaton feels the heat, slides out across the 40. Let's send it back to Wendy Nix. Thank you, Wendy. 2nd and 5. Dropping it off to Smith. Snags it at the 42 and out across midfield into Auburn territory. And another Utah State first down.
One of the things you like about a freshman quarterback is the ability to feel things instead of have to see it. Feel the rush coming off that weak side there. He's untouched. He feels it. Doesn't look and see it. He feels it, just rolls. That's why they love his escapability.
1st and 10. Robert Marshall is the offset back, and the carry will go to Michael Smith. Marshall gets him a nice block and gets him another first down. Nico Thorpe on the stop, but not until Smith had picked up a dozen. Well, college football returns to ABC tonight. The reigning Pac-12 champs, Chip Kelly's Oregon Ducks, taking on the LSU Tigers and Les Miles in the Cowboys Classic. It is all a part of Dick's Sporting Goods kickoff week Saturday at 8 on ABC. College football lives here. And Utah State not shying away from quickly running another offensive play. Jacobs inside the 30.
Be aware that last pass was a lateral, so they could be setting up the double pass off of that look.
Offensive coordinator Dave Baldwin told us the other day they'll run some 3 and 4 tight end packages. They'll do a muddle huddle, which they will partially huddle or not huddle at all.
Yeah, what you just saw was the muddle huddle. Some guys hanging around the center, everybody else just getting to their spots. Here's that 2 and 3 tight end look also that we talked about earlier.
They'll bunch on the left side with Turbin in the backfield and some movement. Evans got a jump defensively on the right side, but he was lured.
Yeah, one of the issues is not the veteran offensive line. They have 5 returning starters up front. Those guys are veterans, but sometimes the young quarterback, his intonation or his calling of the cadence is not always the same.
91 on the offense. Penalty is 5 yards. Down remains 2nd.
think they actually was on the left guard, but
they called it on DJ Tialava'a, the 6'4" sophomore out of West Jordan, Utah.
You want to eliminate unforced errors. They were in a great situation. Now they're in more of a normal 2nd and long.
2nd and 8. Turbin and Smith in the backfield together.
Got a guy wide open down the field.
They had Austin and they couldn't get it to him. And Stanley Morrison in all kinds of trouble back at the 44.
The double reverse pass, they had the guy deep. Unfortunately, too much pressure from that Auburn defense on that side. You can see here's how it starts. There's a toss back. Got a chance, but guy's right in his face. And there's a receiver running completely clean, 20 yards behind the secondary.
Ted Roof, the defensive coordinator for Auburn, he knew his man was beat deep. But some good pressure on the ball, preventing Morrison from the throw. 13 yards on the loss. It's 3rd and 20.
This is 3rd and forever.
Keaton with time, has a man on a 1st down.
I'll tell you what, that's going to frustrate Ted Roof much more, because to run down the field and pick up a 3rd and 20 really is difficult. You can see again, they're taking a guy right down the middle, 2 deep zone, goes over the top of the linebackers. Nice throw. A better throw could have allowed him to keep running and possibly even score.
They needed 20. They got 25 to Xavier Martin. Chucky Keaton showing some tremendous poise in the pocket. Delay to Turbin. He's got Smith blocking in front. Takes a big pop from Evans at the 11. The spot might give him another 1st down. Chucky Keaton, the true freshman, in his 1st collegiate appearance. Got a nice drive right here.
You know, right now, the Utah State offensive line is controlling the line of scrimmage. The longer the play gets to develop, the better they're doing it, blocking that Auburn front.
That's a good start to your career. Perfect 5 for 5 in the air. 2nd and short, Williams. He's going to lose one.
There's the kind of push you like, the kind of response from a defense. They get inside the 20. We're going to bow our backs, not let them in, not let them get that 1 yard. Let's kick them out of here, make them try to kick a field goal.
All 4 sophomore defensive linemen had a hand in on that stop. 3rd and short on the 10th play of the drive. Williams, he's got it inside the 10. Middle linebacker Jake Holland along with Jonathan Evans on the tackle.
Last year, Auburn was great against the run, only giving about 109 yards a game. They don't have Nick Fairley inside. It's a huge difference now. They've got to find that guy that can be the disruptor.
Williams off the left side to the 5. Demetrius McNeil on the stop.
Look for play action here. They've pounded them, and again, they've had success running the football. That sets up this red zone area right here. 2nd and long is typically a play action down.
And Mike, we are seeing this experienced offensive line getting the job done here for Utah State. Williams up the middle, gets to the 4. 3rd and goal coming up. They were the best team in the WAC in the red zone last season. And that was without all the big weapons they have this year.
And when you're on the road playing an SEC team, I know Utah State wants a touchdown here. They don't want to settle for a field goal.
Eric Moats is the receiver off to the right. The give is to Turbin. He'll be short. Stacked up by Nico Thorpe and Nosa Igwe.
Somewhat stubborn by Utah State in terms of running the ball 3 times down there. Also, though, Auburn has to feel good about that defense bowling its back, as we talked about. we'll see what happens now. 4th down. Excuse me. 3rd.
Number 22 is to Sharvin Bell down in the end zone. Junior out of Kissimmee, Florida, who was a starter in both the SEC championship game and the BCS final last year and has emerged as one of their leaders in fall camp. He's number 22 in blue.
They can ill afford to lose him. He's their starting corner. He's also their starting nickel in the nickel defense.
And after that collision, he is now up and trotting over to the sideline. It's 4th and goal from the 3, and they are talking about going for it here, and Chucky Keaton has stayed on the field with the offense.
My point is, in order to win this game, Utah State has to score a touchdown every time they get in the red zone.
Keaton runs the option, and he will score. Chucky Keaton, the true freshman. 3 yards out on the 4th down play.
Just speed off the edge, and obviously they made a great decision in saying, you're a freshman, but you're our starter at quarterback because of what you can do with the ball in your hands.
Kept the drive alive on a 3rd and 20 play. And now Chucky Keaton finishes it off with the 3-yard run.
All right, coming right into your living room. Here you see the speed that he's got. Does a nice job of breaking the tackle, gets into the end zone. Nice job.
The time constraints. We are moving ahead in our coverage. You're watching the SEC on ESPN. Jordan-Hare Stadium in Auburn, Alabama, and Utah State trying to pull off the big upset. They've got the touchdown lead over the defending national champions.
4th and 2, fake alert, and I would think that Utah State has their safe punt return on the field, which means more defensive players.
Clark will kick it away. Moats is telling his teammates to get away from it. Good Auburn bounce as it kicks inside the 15, down at the 12-yard line. It's a new and improved Auburn defense today. Let's take a look at some of the defensive stops brought to you by Wagner Brakes.
Well, Utah State's doing a great job. It may not be the first guy, but the 2nd and 3rd guys are getting there to tackle, which is pursuit. They're just getting there, gang tackling, wrapping up, and making sure that the offenders are taking the ground. And then there's just Bobby Wagner doing it on his own, one-on-one, because he does that. He's led their league in tackling 2 years in a row.
It was a defense that gave up 34 points a game last year, so head coach Gary Anderson named himself the defensive coordinator this year, and they switched to the 3-4 defense.
Well, so far, Utah State really controlling the game on the ground. 97 rushing yards for Utah State, 15 for Auburn.
They've got a touchdown on the ground from Kerwin Williams and another one from their quarterback Chucky Keaton, and the freshman going back to work. The running back Robert Turpin, who was out in the flat. Hauled down by Jake Holland. How about the numbers from the first half? Or first quarter, excuse me.
Yeah, that's some domination. Only 1 first down for Auburn. That's not what they want. They're accustomed to more, and they're accustomed to running the football.
Auburn's lone score was the 56-yard touchdown pass, so their defense has been out there an awful lot on a very hot and humid day. 2nd down and a couple. Turbin, he's got the yardage. He has been very patient taking the handoffs today, Mike.
They're running some misdirection stuff. They're taking the back one way, having him stop and read the blocking, and it's confusing the defensive front of Auburn. One of the things that Coach Anderson talked about was they had to handle the hype of playing the national championship, the heat, the noise, and the physicality of the Auburn defense. So far, they're doing that.
We were told that Auburn was going to have to defend by committee today, and they will certainly have to do that if they are out on the field this much. Keaton to Matt Austin. Bates tried to bump him out, but Austin towed the line and got another first down. That committee, by the way, is down a man today, Mike. El Toro Freeman, one of their seniors, their backup middle linebacker. We were told just before kickoff today that he is ineligible due to an administrative oversight.
Yeah, that's a shame, and I don't know what that means, but it's tough to lose a guy on a Friday night because he's practiced the entire fall camp. Now you haven't got his backup reps, and he's not there either.
Keaton tried to drop it off to Smith, incomplete.
I'll tell you what I've been impressed with is the coaches' trust in him. They're throwing the ball from one hash all the way to the other sideline, not down the field, which is scary. Oh yeah, this last play could have been big. This screen would have gone had he caught it just a little high. And one of the things too, with a quarterback, young quarterbacks, you've got to learn to drop the screen. You don't throw it, you drop it over the top of the on-rushing defensive lineman. That's
his first incompletion. He has 6 passes to 6 different receivers here in the first half. He's got another completion right there to his tight end, Taron Lloyd, down to the 42.
Right now, Utah State has developed a very good rhythm. They're keeping the defense of Auburn off balance. They're not allowing they're not getting in long yardage situations where they're having to be able to defend the blitz. So they're keeping it in either-or situations, takes the advantage to the offense.
Michael Smith is the setback, and he'll get the carry. Look at him shed the first guy that hit him, Holland, and looks like he's got the first down again.
We talked about the advantage of having those veteran running backs that understand how to run for that tough 1 or 2 yards when necessary.
Defensive coordinator Ted Roof told us yesterday they have got to stop the run. They have not thus far. Utah State over 100 yards on the ground. And Robert Turbin might try and churn some more out right here with a couple of tight ends. Play action to Turbin. Keaton looking deep, incomplete.
Nice.
Overthrows Keegan Anderson.
Nice coverage by Nico Thorpe. He saw that. He has been accused of keeping his eyes in the backfield too long, but he read that play action, saw the route down the field, did a very nice job. He's the safety inside. You can see him come there, reads it, makes the speed turn because he used to play corner. Great position to defend that pass.
Bates showing blitz, hand off to Turbin, may have gotten back to the line of scrimmage. Jamar Travis with the hit.
We talked about the idea that Auburn had been behind the sticks. They were in front of the sticks. It was 2nd and 10. They came with a blitz that time, zone blitz, right into the play. Nice job, nice call by Ted Roof.
3rd and 11. On their last drive, Utah State converted a 3rd and 20.
I would anticipate some type of blitz to try to shake the confidence of the freshman quarterback.
They rush 4. They set up the bubble screen, and they will be short.
Again, we talked about the idea this is probably right on the edge of your decision. Are you going to kick a field goal? You're going to go for it? You're going to fake punt? This is that decision time for a head coach in terms of what do you want to do? Are you the favorite? Are you supposed to win? Or are you the underdog and you have to go for it?
The kicker, Josh Thompson, did not attempt a field goal, did not play last year. So they will go for it on 4th down with 5 wideouts.
Watch out for the mobility of the quarterback. And again, I think Ted Roof says, wait a second, we want to make sure we're ready to line up.
They've converted once on 4th down. Utah State will try again when we come back to Auburn.
Looking to get rid of an old cell phone or simply want cash to upgrade to the latest technology? Totem has your answer. Totem pays top dollar for used, broken, and even dead cell phones. Getting cash for your old cell phones couldn't be easier. First, get an instant quote at HelloTotem.com. Use this promo code for an extra $10 added to your payout. And
a touchdown lead for Utah State and a 4th and 6 for the Aggies from the Auburn 34.
Auburn has to account for the mobility of the quarterback, Chucky Keaton, and yet cover the wide receivers.
Keaton looking left, throwing left. Terran Lloyd reaching out for the first down.
Great individual effort. They chose to come with the blitz, man-to-man coverage. The quarterback went to the right guy. He's the guy that's uncovered right there off the ball. You see him stop short of the line and then have to fight, reach over, control it. Really nice execution to get the first down.
2 for 2 on 4th down conversions. Gary Anderson loves it. The SEC is supposed to be the more physical conference, but it is the WAC front line that is owning the trenches right now.
Right now, the experience of that Utah State offensive line versus the freshmen and sophomores that are playing for Auburn are winning the day.
Molina Sanchez, Assisi, Larson, Napaloo, Schultz, and Lloyd. All of them had started coming in. Assisi and Larson started every game last year for them. 2nd and 8, Turbin the setback. Keaton delivers to Lloyd, his tight end, with another catch in traffic. Inside the 15, move the chains again for the Aggies.
I tell you what, that was great patience by the quarterback. The tight end broke out. There was a defender there. He stopped and came back to the inside, and Keaton had the wherewithal to lead him that way. That's a veteran move. That's not something you expect a true freshman quarterback to do in his first game on the road in the SEC environment. I'm really impressed so far. And again, with his ability to control the ball, because they haven't put the ball on the ground yet, and that's really important.
Play action, Keaton trying to sell it. Will tuck it and run. He's trying to beat Evans to the end zone. Jumps out of bounds inside the 5. And the spot should give them a 1st and goal.
We've said it already. Playing with the maturity, well past his age. Here you see him tuck back. He's in the pocket now. There's nobody. He looks back, feels a big seam there, and then shows the speed and the ability to make a guy miss at the end and not take punishment.
Last year at Cypress High School in Texas, and now in front of 85,000 at Auburn. Keaton gives to Turbin. Nothing doing right up the middle. The good push from Whitaker and Carter.
Coach Roof talked about he needs Jeffrey Whitaker to be the guy in there, to create push, to change the pocket, to stop the run, to allow his linebackers to run to the football. They really need it right here at this part of the field.
That's 54 in blue. He makes a push again. And the second effort coming up just a bit short. Lemonier able to hold him up till some help arrived.
Lemonier not the biggest guy. He's grown, though, to about almost 240. It's still a mismatch down there against the offensive linemen and tight ends. He's giving up some weight. He's the guy they want coming off the edge in passing situations. They're going to challenge him right here.
Turbin again, and on the 16th play of the drive, he punches it in.
We probably have a little bit more of a ball game than Auburn would like at this point. But the experience, again, of the Utah State offensive line and backfield with the addition of this mobile young quarterback, sort of amazing so far.
Thompson's PAT is good. 3 rushing touchdowns here in the first half for Utah State. Turbin from 2 yards out.
Yeah, the defensive line trying to get settled. They're really not there, ready to go. Nobody to stop the ball coming in.
Those are the oak trees at Toomer's Corner at Magnolia and College here at Auburn. The tradition, of course, to toilet paper those oak trees after big wins. And the story in the offseason, a man allegedly poisoned those trees. And there is still a lot of concern here around Auburn as to whether or not the trees will survive. They should know more, we are told, next spring about the long-term health of Toomer's oaks. And Auburn could use a big return right here, and they will get one from Trey Mason. He's gone.
Trey Mason jumped in front of the other returner last time to take the ball. Now you see why. He's hungry. He's got the speed and the elusiveness. And boy, did he hit that. 97 yards. You can see it again. Takes it right there. Handles it not quite cleanly. But then right here, he doesn't slow down. He hits that. Blind faith, we call it. And then it's off to the races.
97 yards for the true freshman from Lake Worth, Florida.
And Auburn needed that, although it puts their defense right back on the field. Time of possession is not usually a big thing, but 17 minutes for Utah State, 4 minutes, 43 seconds for Auburn. The defense can be tired.
Watching the SEC on ESPN. And Jordan-Hare Stadium, the fans watching the defending national champs. They're down a touchdown, but they have the momentum. And they get a chance to see their offense again, which they have not seen for the last 22 plays. But on the end around, Trevon Reed with a flag down at the end of that play as Reed picked up a couple.
Yeah, the Auburn offense needs to get on track. They have yet to really get anything going, and looks like the penalty is going to be against them, which really puts the offensive coordinator in a tough situation. You're looking at 1st and 20, 1st and 25, whatever it may
Holding.
be.
Number 79 on the offense. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. First down.
That's not what you want when you just capture the momentum by scoring, holding them on defense. You get the ball back, now you start on a hole.
Our crack staff out in the production truck got the number for us, Mike. The offense has been on the sideline for 29 minutes in real time prior to that play, and the first play back out there, a penalty will push them back. Lutzenkirchen in motion. The give is to McCaleb, and he scoots forward for a few yards.
Barrett Trotter probably had to re-warm up again. That long.
You know, Gus Malzahn was itching to get back out there. They've only run 9 plays. Remember, their goal is to run 80 per game.
211 yards already for Utah State. That's very impressive.
The reason for the delay, a long Utah State drive, and then the kick return touchdown for the Auburn Tigers. Trotter. Complete to Emory Blake. Those were the two guys that hooked up for the touchdown earlier, and a good second effort from Blake diving for the first down.
One of the things that Utah State has to be concerned with is they've stopped the run, but they have been vulnerable to the pass. It's almost like you don't want to stop them too soon, but given a lot of cushion here. You see Emory Blake and a guy that took it for the touchdown early. You cannot give him that much room. Jamani Robertson, a JC transfer, probably still learning a little bit about this defense.
Blake scored on a short down and in that he then ran for 56 yards. And a timeout here from Utah State. Well, we knew coming in there was a lot of new faces on the Auburn side, and that the experience would actually be with Utah State. And I think, Mike, that has shown most importantly on the offensive line, and with those 4 guys that were hurt last year that are all back with their skill guys.
We talked about over 4,000 yards and 40 touchdowns of experience coming back. That's unbelievable. The improvement has been on the defensive side. To me, the scary part about this is special teams. Auburn has more talent on the field when the special teams occur. Utah State has to be very careful of giving up the long returns, as we've already seen.
Well, from 2 newcomers in our game to 2 very experienced ones tonight in Atlanta, Kellen Moore and Aaron Murray coming off of big years last season. It's Boise State and Georgia. The Chick-fil-A kickoff game is part of Dick's Sporting Goods Kickoff Week on ESPN and ESPN3 Saturday at 8 Eastern. That's also streaming live on WatchESPN.com. Get that app for your mobile phone. Michael Dyer breaking a tackle. You're not going to bring him down with one arm. And on the 4th guy to get a hold of him, he's finally brought down after a pickup of 6.
And that's what Michael Dyer can do. He breaks tackles. Kudos, though, to the Utah State defense. They kept making him go laterally, working to the sideline, work to your 12th defender.
There's a flag.
Flag before the snap.
And again, Brandon Mosley, their most experienced offensive lineman, wanted to get a jump on that snap count.
False start, 75 on the offense, 25 yards, 2nd down.
Lee Zemba, Ryan Pugh, Brian Isom, Mike Berry, the 4 starters up front that are gone this year. Mosley is the only guy back.
2nd down, 8, number 49.
Auburn, by the way, has 14 guys that are still having a shot at making an NFL team from that championship team a year ago.
14 guys there and 8 freshmen in the 2 deep on offense.
That was the 4th penalty of the day on Auburn. Trotter off the pump. Drops it over the top of the defense. Was Reed in bounds. The officials along the sideline are going to talk about it, and it looks like they will give it to him at the 41, and that'll move the sticks.
View of this, let's see. We'll take a look here. He's got to have 1 foot down inbounds, and it looks like it was. We're sort of blocked, but looked like he had that foot. Second look there. Yeah, that 1 foot comes down inbounds. I believe they're probably going to review this, though. It's that close.
They'll actually mark him inside the 40. One of the new things this year, Mike, is that the coaches now in the press box upstairs have a monitor.
Ruling on the field was the catch.
So they can see the plays and whether or not they want to review it.
It's an interesting dynamic because in the past, coaches never had any views. They just had to say, hey, what did you see? Do you think you saw it? And you'd have whatever replays could be seen in the stadium. Now they have a monitor that can be tied into feeds to give them another look. The hard part from this angle is seeing where that sideline is based on where his feet came down.
Need just the 1 foot down.
And it's got to be the first foot down. If that foot comes down out of bounds before the other foot comes down inbounds, it doesn't count. And I'm not sure. He's got 1 foot inbound and 1 foot out of bounds. The question is, was the inbounds foot down first?
If they do rule it inbounds, I think they also may move it back just outside the 40. Looked like if the foot was down, it was around the 41.
I agree with you, Beth. Instant replay is an amazing deal because, you know, the officials do a tremendous job, and they have to make instantaneous split-seconds decisions on things that sometimes we go back and look at it 10 times on the thing and can't decide really what happened.
This, by the way, is not a challenge from Utah State. It's a review up in the booth. So it would not cost them a timeout if they don't get it to go their way.
For Auburn, that's a positive play for Barrett Trotter. He rolled out, bought time under pressure, put a ball where it could be caught to make a huge first down potentially. And they need this from a momentum standpoint.
Which isn't necessarily his strength, right? We talked to him. He's much more comfortable in the pocket. He does get out of it here to make the throw.
Yeah, I would think, again, based on that look that we have, it just really depends on that other foot, whether it was down out of bounds first. He definitely has a foot inbounds with the ball in his hands.
Ruling is a complete pass.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands.
And it will stay that way. Well, interestingly enough, it doesn't look like they're going to move the football back. They will keep it where they initially spotted it, just inside the 40. 1st and 10 Tigers.
This is also a time to possibly go for broke. The first time you cross the 50, it's either a bomb or a special play.
Blake, who has the touchdown catch, is to the left. McCaleb in motion. Trotter tucks it into his belly, and he's stuffed right around the line of scrimmage. Good push from Bobby Wagner once again, who's led the WAC in tackles each of the last 2 seasons, number 9 in white.
Auburn wants to be a downhill running football team, a lead back, and everything they do, though, ends up being a lead back power running game.
McCaleb offset on 2nd and 9. Trotter again on the run. Will tuck it and keep it. Steps out of bounds around the 35-yard line after a pickup of 4. Good pursuit again by Wagner and Gallagher.
Very nice job by Trotter, showing actually pretty good speed on the outside. One of the other things, they've got 2:24 left in the half. What Auburn would love to do is milk the clock, get it down and score, and not give Utah State the ball back with any time left on the clock.
3rd and 5.
See, they're doing a lot of check with knees at the line of scrimmage, making sure they're in the right play, but as they do that, they're taking time off the clock.
To McCaleb, and nothing but white jerseys around him. Jake Dowdy throws him for the 3-yard loss. 4th down coming up.
It's a big 4th down. I would think they have to go for it. They're outside field goal range. I don't think they want to punt.
4 yards. 4th down 9.
Utah State may consider taking some timeouts on their own. You don't want to give them more time because you're getting to that 1:30 part, and it looks as if Auburn may punt now, trusting their defense and maybe special teams to make a play.
4th and 9 from the Utah State 39 after the loss.
And again, we saw them practicing fakes with the punt team also. And they have some fakes in there too, so I'm sure that Utah State, as we talked about, I see Bobby Wagner.
4th down.
They took the delay to give their punter a little more room. How about this though, Mike, in the first half for an Auburn team that likes to run first? 30 yards rushing in the first half. So Utah State has done what it wanted to do first and foremost, stop the run and make Trotter beat him some other way.
And that defensive line, Lapuahu, Fili Moatu, are doing the things that Coach Anderson wanted. They're stuffing it up and they're allowing Bobby Wagner to run to the football.
Utah State letting Auburn take that delay, by the way, and running some more time off the clock. High punt. They'll have a chance to field it. And they are able to keep it out. Excellent coverage on the punt. 43 yards without a return. And Utah State with its back to the goal line.
That was a great punt and great coverage. See him circling around it down the field. Very lucky, though. Nobody caught it. They can catch it, but if it breaks the plane to the end zone, it is a touchback.
Josh Harris and Chris Davis, the first guys there. Well, with only a couple of races left to the chase, some bubble drivers like Tony Stewart and Dale Earnhardt Jr. looking to make a move in Atlanta. It's the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series presented by Pennzoil. Coverage beginning on ESPN Sunday at 6:30 Eastern.
As disappointed as Utah State is in getting the ball here with no time left at the 2-yard line, they're probably very excited that Auburn did not get any score. The key here is no turnovers.
Hand off to Turbin. He's able to work his way out of the end zone out to the 5-yard line.
I would assume Auburn probably took that timeout.
Well, the clock continued to run for a little bit there, and about 4 or 5 more seconds trickled off.
Ted Roof is going to tell his guys, the first guy's got to wrap up, the second and third guy's got to rip the ball out. We get the ball down here, we've got a chance to score before the half is over. Conversely, Utah State is saying 2 hands on the football. Control that thing. No way. We've got to protect the ball. And protection of the ball is all 11 players on the field.
Let's take a look back with our Liberty Mutual drive recap. A couple of big drives today for Utah State.
Well, again, they're mixing a very powerful run game with Chucky Keaton doing his best DeAndre Burrell imitation, running the ball when he needed to and making big plays.
That was a 16-play drive, nearly 7 minutes long. Their first scoring drive, or second scoring drive, 15 plays in 7.5 minutes. Well, they will take a knee. Auburn with 1 more timeout. Look at the length and the yardage and the time off the clock.
And what that points to is the execution. They're doing a great job of executing their offense.
And Auburn won't bother taking the timeout there. They did not have another one to stop the clock after 3rd down anyways. So the Utah State Aggies looking for the first road win against a ranked opponent in school history. And they are up a score on the defending national champs. Our score at halftime, 21-7. And the last time a defending national champ lost the opening game of its following season, Miami in 1990. Some work to do for the Tigers in the second half. Now let's join Wendy Nix for the ESPN College Football Halftime Report. Welcome back to the SEC on ESPN. And the defending national champion has not lost its opening game in 21 years, but Auburn trailing Utah State by a touchdown as the Aggies have been dominating time of possession and their ground game really chewing up big chunks of yardage. They had a couple of scoring plays, one of 15 yards, one of 16. And look at all the pluses there in their keys to the lead. 80 more yards rushing, 10 more minutes with the ball, 4 fewer penalties, and 26 more plays than Auburn in that first half.
Ball control. They're doing it exactly what they want to do today behind that veteran offensive line.
Auburn to receive the kick, and then we'll see if they can get their running game going. They had more penalty yards than rushing yards in the first half of play today. This is going to be Quan Bray this time bringing it out. The cutback around the 30-yard line. And falls forward to the 35. 33 yards on the return for Quan Bray. Beth Mowins along with former Oregon head coach Mike Bellotti here at Auburn. And the big story today, Mike, has been the dominance of this Aggie offense.
Utah State running game. They have run the football. They've controlled the line of scrimmage. Auburn, who is a running football team, has not been able to do that. It hasn't been Barrett Trotter's fault. He's 5 of 5 passing, but they're just not getting it going in the running game.
They scored a touchdown on a kick return, and other than that, the one long pass play from Trotter to Emory Blake. That's been the lone bright spot offensively. They've only had 16 plays from scrimmage. And Trotter to air it out, that's his first missed attempt of the day. He had hit on all 5 of his passes in the first half. He was looking for Trevante Stallworth right there. But that's not a statistic that Auburn wants to see. And a club that rushed for 284 yards a game last year.
They knew they were going to lose some of that because obviously Cam Newton was the leading rusher on the team and one of the leading rushers in the nation. You lose him, but they've got great running backs.
Trotter looking confident and poised on that throw to Stallworth out to midfield, 15 yards and a first down.
To me, I think what they have to do, the biggest mismatch on the field is the passing game of Auburn versus the secondary of Utah State. And I think they've got to force that issue initially to get some momentum going.
Here they go now trying to push the pace. They will quickly snap the ball, and the give is to Michael Dyer. Dyer over 1,000 yards rushing last year. McCaleb over 800 yards rushing, but neither has been able to crank it up yet today.
One of the things, too, Utah State is playing a new front, a 3-4. They're playing variations of the 3-4 and the 4-3, and sometimes that causes confusion in the offensive line, just in terms of you're not quite as crisp or aggressive in your blocking assignments.
2nd and 9. McCaleb in motion to the backfield. Little play action for Trotter. Bobby Wagner giving chase and gets him by the shoestrings. The sack for Bobby Wagner. Didn't rush a whole lot last year. They want him more active in that department this year.
And I'm not sure if he was rushing or just reacting to the Trotter sprinting out of the pocket. But again, Trotter was buying time, couldn't find anybody open. So good job by the Utah State secondary.
3rd down 9.
3rd and 9 without a huddle. Check off to the sideline.
Auburn does this to get a chance to survey the defense and then make the call that they think is right to go against that front and or coverage look.
Trotter dumps it off to McCaleb. He's got one man to beat Gallagher, and Gallagher gets him short of the first down. It'll bring up 4th and 3.
Tell you what, they were in man-to-man. Had McCaleb been able to recover his balance, he was gone.
Gene Chizik talks to his offensive coordinator, Gus Malzahn. No punter coming on.
37 coming in is listed at 6 foot 291. He's a fullback. Ladarius Phillips. Now he's coming back off the field. I was going to say they're going to get the big fella right.